Hi, I'm a bully, and yes, I'm the biggest bully in Hollywood. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael, and I'm here to review part 3 and the final part of the reunion to the Real Housewives taking down Lisa Rinna of Beverly Hills. We start the third and final part of this reunion with Andy asking Sutton about her relationship with Sanji. You know, the guy that she went on a date with where she had that cat sweater on. She is like, yeah, he's still in the picture, but we're just friends. AKA one of two things. Either one, she friend zoned him, or two, his dick game was trash. So then Andy, he moves it over to Erica and he's like, so Erica, how's your sex life? And I'm like, Andy, what kind of question is this? If you don't stop playing and get Kathy Hilton out here on the stage so she could take down Lisa Rinna and stop wasting time. Like, what are we doing? But then Erica, she goes on to say, I actually had some really good sex last night. I really needed it going into this reunion because I wanted to go into it a little bit less stressed and a little bit more mellow. And I need a roster sometimes. And I'm like, wait a minute, a roster? You know, back in my day, we used to call them a one-night stand. I don't know anything about a roster. So then she continues on and she was like, yeah, you know, it's very interesting finding a man who could stay hard all night long. And I'm like, wait a minute, a man who could stay hard all night long? Erica, who is this person and what's their Instagram or phone number? I'm asking for a friend. He sounds like a good time. So then Andy, he was like, okay, fun is over. Let's go back to your montage of you being a drunken mess this entire season. So then they play all of Erica's clips of her being drunk the entire season, which honestly, I didn't even realize that it was so many of them. I mean, the fact that you can make a video out of it is pretty concerning. So then Andy asks Erica, how do you feel looking back at your behavior now? Erica, she goes on to say, well, I mean, I don't even know who that person is anymore because I was in such a different headspace last year compared to this year that now looking back at this footage, it's like I don't even know who that person is anymore. I don't know who they are. And I'm like, Erica, it's you. It says at the bottom of the screen, Erica Jane, that's you right there with the blonde hair. So then Andy, he moves it over to Garcelle and he's like, so Garcelle, when did you realize that Erica's drinking was becoming concerning? Garcelle goes on to say that it was the night of her birthday party where Erica had cursed out Jax. She was not there in the moment when it happened. It was just between them. But when she rewatched the episode, she could not believe everything that just went down between them. So Garcelle asked Erica, out of everybody who was in that party, and if we all remember, that house was packed full of people, adult people at that, why did you single out Jax specifically to feel comfortable to say that to him? You could have said it to PK, Mauricio, anybody, but you chose Jax specifically. Erica, she goes on to say, well, I mean, it's not that I, singled out Jax specifically. It was just stupid. I was drunk. I was irresponsible. And that was that. I mean, it was my fault and that was that. But not once did she ever say sorry. So then Garcelle, she aimed at Dorit, who was next to her. And she was like, Dorit, you didn't say nothing either. Dorit, she tries to say something. She was like, yeah, I did. And so Garcelle, she shut that whole thing down. She was like, no, you didn't. You didn't say anything. All you said was, oh, he's getting flowers for his mama. That's it. What is that? And if honestly, Dorit, she kept trying to, plead her case. If I was Garcelle, I would have just stuck my middle finger up at her like, yeah, sure. You had space and opportunity right then and there to correct your friend, but you didn't say anything. I mean, you almost kind of did, but then you didn't. You didn't say anything. So then Andy, he turns it over to Kyle, and he's like, so Kyle, you and Dorit, you both were laughing at this whole situation, and I just wish that Andy would have said Mauricio and PK as well. Like, it wasn't just both of them. And on top of that, where are the husbands? Why are the husbands not out here? I just realized that Beverly Hills, I think that Beverly Hills, they don't bring out the husbands at the reunion, right? Because every other reunion, the husbands are always there, but here nobody's bringing anybody out. Like Mauricio and PK should also be held to the fire as well, but obviously, Andy, he forgets everything. So he was like, oh, Dorit and Kyle, both of you were laughing and it was pretty hard to watch. And I'm like, sure, Andy. So then Kyle did everything but apologize as well. She was like, oh yeah, I mean, rewatching that, I thought it was funny when I first heard of it. But, rewatching the episode, I thought it was just so hard to see. Like, I did not like that and everything. So then Garcelle, she was quick to correct her too. Garcelle was like, so wait, why did you think in the first place it was funny to begin with? Like, why would you, even before you watched the episode, why did you think it was funny to curse out a teenager? I just don't get it. Kyle, all she said was, oh, well, my bad. Like, oh yeah, it was my bad. Now I realize that it was just my bad. And I'm like, Kyle, again, the bare minimum. It's not even the bare minimum. It's like below the bare minimum with Kyle, because I'm like, that's not even a true apology. You, by telling Garcelle, my bad, repeating yourself over, what does that mean? Well, the real thing that you should have said is, I'm sorry, I realize now looking back at the footage that it was wrong of me to laugh. It was wrong of me to laugh to begin with, regardless of the footage. And me, my husband, Mauricio, PK, and Dorit, all four of us look like clowns. and I'm sorry. But no, all we get is my bad, my bad, my bad. That's the only thing that we get out of Kyle. And I'm like, Kyle, this is exactly why I don't feel any type of sympathy towards you when you start crying later on. But we'll get to that. So then Dorit, she tried to jump in it, and Dorit, you were better off just staying quiet, honestly, because she goes on to try to explain her case with Garcelle. And she was like, Garcelle, hold on, because I did try to have a conversation with Erica Jane. We went out to eat at this really, really nice Italian restaurant after, but that's besides the point. It was so expensive though, but I covered the bill because she can't afford it. But yeah, so we went out to eat and everything, and I corrected her. I told her, Erica, what are you doing? Your behavior is out of line. It's very inappropriate. Honestly, when she said that to Jax, I felt like it was like a Louis Vuitton sword being stabbed into my stomach. Garcelle, that's all she had to hear to shut that whole thing down. She was like, oh, really? You felt like a sword being stabbed into your stomach? So what, was it like an out-of-body experience? I'm like, yeah, Dorit, if I was you, I would just put my head down like with shame. Again, because if it felt that painful to you, how come you didn't say nothing right then and there? Again, you're able to discuss everything else on camera, but the one time that you want to correct Erica, you do it off camera. And Garcelle made a good point to Kyle and everybody else on this stage when she said, well, if it was me and I was the one being drunk and I had cursed out your daughter and I had told her, oh, get the fuck out, this would have been a completely different story. Kyle, she goes on to say, well, no, I get it now because we're both moms. I get it. No, I get it. But Kyle, you don't get it because let's say that it was the other way around. This whole show would have been completely flipped upside down. Kyle, she probably would have told Andy and production like, no, we're shutting this down. We're shutting this whole production down. We're shutting the whole show down and the season down until you get Garcelle kicked off the show. It would have been a whole different story. Let's be honest. Erica, she gets a pass from everybody else, but Garcelle, oh no, she'll get crucified. So then Andy, he goes on to ask Garcelle, what did you think about Erica's apology towards Jax? Garcelle, she goes on to say, well, I mean, in this group, you kind of just have to take whatever they give you because everybody's all about, oh, you got to own it. You got to own it. You got to own it. Obviously, she was taking a dig at Lisa Rinna. You know, Lisa Rinna was just sitting there like, wait a minute. That's one of my catchphrases. So Garcelle, she continues on and she was like, yeah, I have to just kind of accept these apologies. Even though, you know, sometimes it may not sit well with me if I bring it up to the group like, first of all, I don't really accept your apology. I actually am a little bothered by what you're telling me or what you're doing. They're going to try to flip it on me. And yeah, it's true because they have a pattern of gaslighting people. Like the second that you feel uncomfortable with something that they're doing or they're saying, all of a sudden they're looking at you like, wait a minute, why do you have a problem with this? And then all of a sudden they all gang up on you and... you know, it's pretty sad. Again, another representation how a black woman has to stay quiet to a group of white women and she can't really speak how she really feels because then they're all going to turn it around on her and be like, wait a minute, you're the problem. You're the issue. Like all of us are fine. You're the only one that's having a problem. What's going on? And I also wish that Andy would have spent a little bit more time talking about the comments left on Jax's Instagram, but even that was just kind of swept underneath the rug and we moved on from it like it was nothing. Andy, he also issued an apology on his podcast towards Garcelle for his behavior last week at the second part of the reunion. He went on to say, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I wish that I would have been there for Garcelle. I feel bad that I just disregarded her feelings. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That's cute and all, Andy, that you're issuing an apology now. But I mean, you should have never done it on your podcast. You should have done it on Watch What Happens Live, where, you know, you have a bigger audience. And you should have even invited Garcelle to be your guest and apologize face to face. Like, oh, I'm sorry for acting like a complete clown with Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane. I'm sorry. I should have been there for you. I should have listened to you and your feelings a bit more. Do it face to face. Don't do it on your podcast. That's not good enough. The focus turns over to Erica and it quickly turns into the season 11 reunion all over again with Andy grilling Erica with a bunch of questions. He goes on to say, so Erica, I recently read that you won your first lawsuit, that you were found innocent in this one lawsuit that claimed that you knew about Tom's wrongdoings and that you were in on the whole situation. You knew about it. Erica, she proceeds to take out some articles and she reads them and she was like, yeah, Andy, I was found innocent. I got some articles right here. Let me read them to you. So, okay. Erica Jane is under investigation and she is going to be found guilty. Wrong article, sorry. Okay, it's this one. Okay, Erica Jane was found innocent of all claims and she has nothing to do with this whole situation with Tom. You see, Andy, I'm innocent. And if I was Andy, I would have been like, Erica, give me that damn article. Let me read correctly. Where does it say that you're innocent? And yeah, the article could say that Erica didn't know anything about Tom's crimes. Now, do I believe the article? No. So then Andy, he continues on and he's like, so Tom, he has to pay $2.3 million to all his clients that he stole money from. Do you still believe that there's no victims at all? Erica, she goes on to say, they're none of my victims. They're all his victims. I have no victims. So the Andy, he's like, wait, so see, that's the problem right there. That comment right there. Don't you think that comment is going to bother everybody here on stage and they're going to look at you like, wow, where's her sympathy? Where's her emotions? What's going on? Erica, she goes on to say, well, it's not about them. It's not about everybody's feelings. It's all about me and what I'm going through legally. And I mean, I'm sorry, but she has a point. Like I said before on the Aspen trip, the only reason why Erica is being painted out to be like this bad person now is because she's coming off aggressive. She's always coming off so defensive, like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? If she came off more like soft or like, oh, like, I don't want to talk about that right now. Like, I'm going through a legal battle right now. We could talk about it after everything is said and done. Then maybe people will, soften up a little bit with Erica. But no, she comes off like the second that you're like, oh, hey, Erica, how's that lawsuit? What lawsuit? What lawsuit? What are you talking about? What lawsuit? You want to fight? That's how she comes off. So, of course, people are going to look at her like, you're coming off so defensive. So, obviously, you have something to hide. You must be guilty. But other than that, I must give her a slight good point in this whole situation. She makes this horrible analogy after Dorit was like, hold on, my baby. Hold on, my baby. The issue is that I think that the issue that we're all having is that when you said that I don't like cursing. When you said I don't give a fuck. Oh my God, I'm so bad. I'm so naughty for saying such a bad word. When you said I don't give a fuck about anybody but yourself, I mean, yeah, it seems very cold-hearted, Erica. Maybe if you explained yourself a little bit better, maybe it'll be better. You know what I'm saying? So then Erica, she made a horrible analogy. And I'm like, Erica, it was just better if you just stayed quiet, because she went on to say, well, I mean, it's kind of like being in a plane crash. And I'm like, as if these victims are not known for being in a plane crash themselves, Erica. Like, come on now. Like, what's not clicking? She goes on to say, I mean, it's like being in a plane crash. When a plane crash is going down, obviously I'm going to grab my face mask first before I secure somebody else's face mask. So I have to worry about myself. And I'm like, Erica, I know the judge is probably, or whatever judge on one of your lawsuits is probably watching this episode from home like, yeah, you know what? I was going to say that she was innocent tomorrow, but you know what? I changed my mind. She's guilty. Like, so terrible. And then she goes on to say that she wishes that she could have, somebody in the group back her up and not have everybody corner her in a corner every 5 seconds. And I'm like, it's almost similar to what you, Dorit, Lisa, and Kyle do to Sutton or Garcelle. Interesting. Now you know how it feels, right? It doesn't feel lovely, right, Erica? She's like, yeah, I wish that I had more support from everybody, especially Kyle. Kyle, I wish that you play the whole thing a little bit more mutual instead of, coming at me the way you did in Aspen. Kyle was like, well, yeah, I was being mutual and I was being there for you as a friend. But at the same time, Erica, you crossed the line when you said, oh, I don't really care about anybody but me. And there is no such thing as no victims. That's when I had to step back and I'm like, wait. I'm trying to have the center diamond for next season. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to stay on the show. So, I had to speak up and I just can't be with that. So they started going at it and I was just sitting here eating my popcorn like, it's so interesting seeing Kyle, Erica, and Dorit just take each other down for once. So then Andy, he moved the conversation over to her earrings. He was like, so, those earrings, do you still have them? Erica, she was like, no, I don't, not at this very current moment. So then he was like, so then why did you still wear them? And she was like, well, I mean, I was going to wear the earrings till the day, until I had to turn them over. And she did wear them in Aspen. And again, I understand her in that aspect too, because until she is found guilty of something, then I'm still going to be doing everything I'm doing. Again, it may look terrible to the public image and everybody may look at her sideways like, wow, like you're really flaunting this online and on the show. It may look terrible, but again, morally versus the law, even though the law is sometimes a little wonky and they're not always correct either. But Andy, he's like, so wait a minute, what's going on with the earrings? Because you turned them over, right? Erica's like, yeah, I turned them over. I had to give them in after the trip in Aspen. So then he asks her, so wait, are you trying to get them back or like what's going on? All of a sudden, Erica, she turns into a banana and she was like, well, we're on appeal right now. So then Andy's like, wait, you're what? What about the earrings? So then Erica, she repeats it and she was like, we're on appeal right now. And then he's like, oh, okay, but you just said the same thing. And then Erica was like, I know, I said that we're on appeal again. Again, her nasty attitude. If I was Andy, I would have been like, say appeal one more time and you're fired. Coming at me with that attitude just because I'm doing my job and holding you to the fire. So then eventually that was that. Andy asked her, so wait, do you miss your old life? Do you talk to Tom? Do you miss him? Do you miss the money? Erica, she was lying. She goes on to say, yeah, I mean, I talked to Tom like 2 days ago or 3 days ago or whatever, and he's fine. He's fine. He's doing good after his car flipped 5 times last season. He's doing good. And I do miss him every now and then. Do I miss his money? Do I miss the lifestyle? No, I don't miss it at all. And I'm like, Erica, come over here. Look me in the eye and tell me that. You are such a liar. Like, stop it. And then she goes on to say that she didn't complain. She doesn't complain about her lifestyle now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't complain? Yes, you do. You were complaining all season and reminding us of what you used to have. Like, you even told, what's her name? Dirty Diana and her tongue. You kept telling her, oh, can you buy me this? Can you buy me that? Oh, maybe I should come to you. Maybe I should go to your house. You kept doing that the entire season. So now you're saying you weren't complaining or that you don't miss your old lifestyle? Please, you live in an Airbnb box now and compared to the house you used to live and the lavish lifestyle you used to live. And you want to tell me that you don't miss it? Next thing you know, the one and only Kathy Hilton makes her way out to the stage. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Let me change the background to fit the atmosphere. Okay, that's better. So Kathy, she comes out. Let's talk about her outfit. So her outfit reminded me of something, a character from the movie The Purge. You know, the horror movie The Purge? It reminded me of something that somebody would wear in that movie. All she needed was like the face mask, the creepy face mask, and a machete. I was just waiting for the announcement to say, all crime, including murder, is legal for the next 24 hours. Beep. But she looks really nice and cute. She reminds me of what Barbie would look like in 50 years after she retires and marries rich and lives in Malibu. It looks really nice. So she's there, she's getting on stage and she was like, hey ladies, how's it going? There is so much tension in the room. Erica's just looking down at her phone. She's probably reading some articles to see if she's found guilty of anything in Tom's crimes. Lisa Rinna and her hair from 25 years ago. She's just sitting there shaking in her lips. She was like, oh, hey Kathy, how are you? I'm like, what's going on? Both of you were just like the big bad wolf just a second ago. Now you're quiet and you're scared and you're shaking. Why? Kyle, she's there. She's packing all the tissue boxes already because she's like, yeah, I'm about to cry for the next 3 hours. So she's getting all the tissues ready. She's getting some tissues in her bra, in her hair, everywhere. She takes a seat next to Kyle, and if I was Garcelle, I would not have allowed that. I'm like, no, I'm not moving over for her. She's gonna have to sit somewhere else. This is my reunion. I'm the housewife. She's just a friend of. If she wants to sit on the stage, she's gonna have to find her own chair. Telling me to move over. Absolutely not. But then Andy, he asks Kathy, so Kathy, what's going on with your Instagram? Did you figure out how to contact Rick through Instagram? She took her first shot at Lisa Rinna by saying, oh yeah, I figured out how to contact him through Instagram. I usually just post stuff on my Instagram story, but then I took it down after 20 minutes, similar to what Lisa Rinna does. And I'm like, ooh. Obviously, Kathy Hilton probably took like 3 shots of her own tequila backstage because she came onto the show ready looking for a fight with Lisa Rinna. So then Andy, he starts it off and he's like, so let's talk about the cast trip to Aspen. And I'm like, finally, no more beating around the bush. He's like, let's talk about the whole situation with you and Lisa Rinna and the whole alcohol situation, how she ordered Kendall Jenner's alcohol instead of yours. Were you really upset at Kyle? Were you upset with Lisa? Kathy, she started off and she was like, I mean, I was maybe sort of upset with Kyle. That's all she had to say. And then Kyle, she started breaking down and I'm like, Kyle, all she said was like 2 words. Like every 5 seconds, it was like, oh yeah, Andy, I was really, really upset with... yeah, it was like I was saying, I was really upset with Kyle, but then... Yeah, I was upset with Kyle at first, but... like it just kept going on and on and on. I'm looking at Kyle like, relax. Your sister has only been on stage for 2 seconds and you're already a mess. At least give it like 10 minutes. So Kathy, she's trying to explain her answer and her answer was all over the place. 1 second she was upset with Kyle. The next second she wasn't. 1 second she was upset with Lisa. The next second she wasn't. It was just all over the place. And I wish she was just honest and said, well, I was really upset that Kyle didn't stick up for me in the moment when Lisa ordered somebody else's tequila, Kendall Jenner. And she would have told her, oh, Lisa Rinna, instead of ordering that tequila, why don't you order my sister's tequila? That would be better for the branding and for the show. Why don't you do that? That's what she was trying to allude to. I feel like that's what she was trying to do, but she was trying to sugarcoat it so she wouldn't hurt Kyle's feelings. She was like, well, I was upset with Kyle at first. I had to really think to myself and I'm like, am I putting too many expectations on Kyle? Because obviously she's a flop and we've seen how she treats my sister every other season. So why should I expect anything from her? And then Andy, he finally just cut to the BS and he was like, look, Kathy, look, I'm paying you like what, $3 billion to be on 1 season? You better answer a question. He was like, were you upset with Lisa Rinna or not? I'm like, finally, Andy, finally. But before Kathy could even say anything, of course, Kyle, who's sobbing uncontrollably, she, out of nowhere, she was like... No, it's just, you were mad at me again, Kathy. You were mad at me again. Just... hold on, is the camera on me? Yeah, I know. I want to make this about myself right now. Yeah, put the camera on me. I don't care how ugly I cry. You're always blaming me for everything. You're always blaming me for everything. And I'm sick of it, Kathy. And I'm like, Kyle. Kathy was just taking ownership of her own behavior and her own thoughts, and now you turn it right back against to you. Like, even in this situation, you still managed to make it about yourself. So Kathy was like, no, Kyle, like, at first I was upset with you, but then I, remember that, no, it's not you, it's me. So eventually she told Andy, no, I wasn't upset with Lisa. I was only upset that, everybody else ordered somebody else's tequila instead of my own. I wasn't technically mad with Lisa. And I'm like, Kathy, stop. Andy then brings up that dark and lonely, mysterious night in Aspen where they all went clubbing, and Kathy allegedly had this meltdown at the club. So he's like, so Kathy, let me know what happened that whole night. Start from the very beginning. Hurry up. So then Kathy, she was like, well, Andy, hold on. Let me try to remember everything from that night. Let me try to remember my lines. Okay, so everything happened because we were in the club. We were all dancing. I was dropping it low and everything. I was trying to find a man, even though I'm married. I was having a good time, right? So I just went up to the DJ, like any regular, person at the club or whatever, because we're all members. I told him, oh, can you play Beyonce's new album, the one that just came out, Renaissance? Can you play at least Heated by Beyonce? I like that song. That's my favorite. He said, wait, hold on. Where are you from again? And Kathy was like, well, I'm from LA, but everybody, asks for songs and everything. Like, it's fine, right? Like, this is a typical thing. The DJ was like, maybe you should go back to LA. I'm like, well, damn. I would have destroyed his shit too if he would have answered me like that. But the other side of me is also thinking, because Kathy is very in control of her whole entire image when she sees a camera. And I'm thinking, if the cameras were not there, I wonder, how Kathy is explaining this whole story as if her name is Mary Sue. Like, oh yeah, I asked the DJ for this song and he turned me down and he told me to go back to LA. Now I wonder, because that's what she's saying on camera, but I wonder off camera if she was like, can you play this song? What do you mean? What do you mean no? Because Kathy, she's not used to being told no. So I'm assuming that she probably turned into a Karen. She was like, wow, really? You know what? We're out of it. We're out of here. We're leaving. And you know what? I'm going to build a hotel on top of this building tonight. So she left and then she went up to Kyle. Supposedly she was like, Kyle, come on, we're leaving. We're out of here. We're out of here. Or what? Or what? Or what? Let's go right now. And Kyle, she's sobbing and everything. And she was like, hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. How does Candace from Potomac do it? I think she does it like this. Kathy, you talk to me crazy. Like, you were like, Kyle, come on, we out of here. You talk to me so rough for no reason, and you just don't talk to me like that. Now, do I believe that? Yes, I do. I do believe that Kathy did talk to Kyle all aggressively, and she even admitted it. She was like, oh, I'm sorry for talking to you like that. I should have never done that to you. And again, I do feel like Kathy has this whole darker image to her that we don't see as the audience, because again, she's very in control of her narrative when it comes to the camera, but people don't see that. I see it, but people don't. So she's doing all that or whatever. Then Andy, he asked Lisa and Erica, so wait, what did both of you see that night? Lisa Rinna, she stayed quiet. And I'm like, your mouth was like this the entire reunion, and now you're quiet? So then Erica, she finally just breaks out and she was like, well, I saw Kathy, she was coming at me. She was so upset. All of a sudden, she was like, you know what? Let's leave this place because the DJ is nothing but an old effing. And then she said the F slur. And I'm like, wait a minute, Erica, don't say that. Like, you could have at least abbreviated or something like that. You didn't have to say the word out loud, but she said it. And I'm like, wow, okay. So there's the claims that Lisa Rinna has been saying for months now that Kathy supposedly said. Kathy, she was like, wait, what? I never said that. I don't speak like that. Now, do I believe Erica? I do believe Erica to a certain extent. I do believe her. I like, something just tells me, like, I don't believe her with everything with Tom, but I believe her in this case. And I do feel like Kathy would say something like that. Again, Kathy's just very in control of her narrative, and she has the money to like threaten people behind the scenes. Like, you better not show this. You better not tell me. You better not tell the public this, and that. I do feel like she does have some power off camera. So Kathy's like, wait, no, I would never talk to you like that. I would never talk to people like that. Erica, I actually give Erica 2 points or 3 points for actually sticking up to her, unlike Lisa. She was like, well, first of all, yeah, you do talk like that. You did talk like that night. And then Kathy's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, wow, Erica and her are just going at it. Meanwhile, I'm looking at Kyle, who's sitting right there next to Kathy, and I'm like, Are you going to jump in? You see your sister going at it with somebody else. You were going at it with Crystal when you weren't even in that conversation with Crystal when she was trying to make her point, and now you're quiet. You don't want to jump in? Go ahead. I'll give you 2 seconds. Go ahead, Kyle. Nothing? Okay, fine. So then eventually Erica, she was like, no, you're just trying to protect your image, blah, 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 all this and all that. And she did say that that's what she said. She was like, I have nothing to lose. I don't care about my reputation. Kathy's like, well, I have nothing to lose either. My reputation is good. Erica, she was like, well, no, your reputation is not really that solid right now. And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, well, damn, Erica, okay. It's like broke versus money. So eventually, Andy was like, well, we did an investigation and everything and nothing came about it. And I'm like, of course nothing came about it, Andy. I'm pretty sure, like I said, Kathy, she has the money, to hush anybody up. I do believe that, allegedly, but then again, I don't know. He could be saying the truth and I could just be making all this up in my head. So then Garcelle, she asked a good question. She was like, wait, Andy, who did this investigation? I want to know because I'm thinking was it Sutton? We all know she has like her lawyers like on speed dial. So then Andy was like, well, HR did the whole investigation and they came up with nothing. And I'm like, HR. Now I'm very curious if they also did an investigation on who sent those bots over to Jax's Instagram, or do we only care about the situation with Kathy? So eventually, Kathy, she wasn't done with Erica. She was like, first of all, nothing came out in the press about you and everything that, you flaunt and everything on camera. And I'm like, wow, Kathy, and she had a water bottle and I'm pretty sure that it probably had tequila in it. I'm telling you, because she was coming and fighting everybody. She was like, nobody said anything about you in the press, about that Cartier ring that you had on, about that bag and everything and all this. And Erica was like, what's your point? What are you trying to get at? So then Kathy was like, those are not yours. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, they're really fighting. Sutton, who was sitting right next to Garcelle at the very end of the couch, she was probably watching this like, yup. I love this. I love this. I can't wait to tell Sanji about this. So I think that Kathy was alluding that Erica had all of this, she was flaunting all of this when it was really the victim's money. Maybe that's what she was alluding to. So then Erica was like, wow, you're really trying to save your image. Wow. And then Kyle, she finally jumped in and she was like, wait, before anything goes, I just want to say that I never heard that F-bomb drop out of anybody's mouth. That's all I want to say. I just want to make that very clear. But at the end of the day, like Andy said, it's all she said because there's no footage. Allegedly. So we'll never know. Lisa goes on to tell her side of the story on how she saw Kathy upset that night. So her and Crystal decide to walk her out the club. But Crystal, she had to stay in the club because something happened with her jacket. So it was only Kathy and Lisa outside. Andy asked Lisa, so wait, what happened once you got onto the van? What happened then? Lisa, she's so damn dramatic. She was like, what happened once we got onto the van? What happened, you said? Well, Kathy's meltdown. I'm like so extra. So then Andy asks Kathy, so Kathy, do you remember that? Kathy's like, yeah, I do remember that. I remember venting to Lisa, but I don't remember all these claims that she's trying to put on me, saying everything about this cast and about NBC. I don't remember any of that. So then Lisa just makes the whole thing so dramatic. She was like, Kathy, you said some really, really awful things that night and things that I cannot fathom, nor can I really recall because I'm just so traumatized and you're just such a monster. I can't believe you would say such horrific things about everybody on this cast, especially your own sister who's crying over there with a bunch of napkins. Do you need another tissue? Here. Are you still crying? Okay. You said such awful things about Kyle and everybody else on this cast. Look how precious Sutton looks in her pink dress. I love that dress. I love you, baby girl. But you're just such a monster, Kathy. You're really terrible. And I'm like, Lisa, nobody's buying your act. Stop trying to play innocent though. So then Kathy, she called her out and she was like, first of all, Lisa, I remember venting to you, but don't you remember that halfway through my venting that you also agreed with what I was saying? And I'm like, ooh, Lisa, you're quiet then. So then Kathy, she tries to imitate Lisa's voice. And I feel like she sounded like Meredith from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She goes on to say, well, remember, Lisa, I was venting to you, and then all of a sudden you jumped in halfway through and you said, well, I mean, I get it. I mean, you're preaching to the choir. It sounded exactly like Meredith. And Lisa, the issue with you is, the problem is that what you're saying, it could be true, about Kathy. It is true. She did have a whole meltdown. But the thing is, you're making it so dramatic and you're adding so many layers to it to the point where now it sounds unbelievable. If you would have just said, oh yeah, Kathy had a meltdown. She said some really awful things about everybody else. And that's that, and kept it pushing, people probably would have believed you. But the fact is, your story sounds like this. Kathy was so upset that night. She came out the club screaming at everybody. Next thing you know, 2 dinosaurs flew over the sky. Dinosaurs came to life again. Rihanna dropped her new album. It just sounds all unbelievable. So Kathy, she was like, again, were you not the same one when I was venting to you? Were you not also agreeing with me? Lisa, I feel like Lisa did agree with what Kathy said because Lisa stayed quiet and she changed the entire conversation. She was like, so anyways, you said that you were going to take down NBC. I'm like, no, Lisa, that is not what Kathy was accusing you of. Let's go back to that. But Lisa, again, she just ignored it, and that was that. So then Kathy, I'm not sure what she was trying to do. She was like, so let's talk about something right now because guess what I have? I have my phone. So then Andy's like, wait, what is that? What's going on? And then Kathy's like, those text messages that you're talking about between me and you, I don't have them on my phone. And I'm like, Kathy, I'm pretty sure that somebody around you tells you how to use a phone because I'm pretty sure that you could just delete the messages if you wanted to. Like, I'm so confused by that. So then Andy's like, okay, so you don't have the messages? Okay, what does that prove? And then Lisa's like, well, I have the messages. So she gives her phone to Andy. And Andy, he confirms, like, the messages are there. So again, Kathy, I'm not sure what you were trying to do. Again, both of them are looking like liars to me. Lisa continues on by saying that Kathy had a whole psychotic breakdown once they got back to the house. She was banging on walls, stomping on glasses, just throwing a whole fit. Lisa's like, oh yeah, I had to lock myself up in the room. I closed the door. I had to put the Batman signal out the window to try to get some help. I was just so scared. I was mortified. And I'm like, Lisa, again, this whole story just sounds like a hot mess. So then Andy, he goes on to list all the things that Lisa is allegedly accusing Kathy of saying. Kathy's like, I never said that. I mean, I don't know about that Dorit comment, but I never said anything else. So then next thing you know, Kyle jumps in it, and Kyle is like, well, the only thing that I'm really upset about is that the whole story got leaked online. And I'm like, of course, Kyle, of course, that's the only part that upsets you. And then they circle back to Erica and how her publicist was the one that they were all accusing of, leaking the story. But we'll never really know who leaked the story. I mean, do I think it's Erica or Lisa or even the publicist? Maybe, especially how their behavior was at the finale of the season. So then Kathy, she goes on to say, well, I actually wanted to apologize to Kyle in person, and I did. I apologized for my behavior in Aspen and everything I said to her, but I wanted to apologize to her on camera as well to make her happy. But then she wanted to bring Lisa Rinna into it, and I was confused, like, why do I need to apologize to her as well? Kyle, all of a sudden, she was like, wait, so now I'm getting blamed for, this, and I'm like, yes, you're getting blamed for this because you're the one to blame, Kyle. What are you not seeing here that we're not seeing? What's the problem? Kathy came to your house to apologize to you specifically alone, a one-on-one sister moment. And what do? You decide to bring the Wicked Witch of the West, what's her name, Lisa Rinna, over to your house. And what do? You just let everything happen between them. You let Lisa try to take your sister down in front of you, and you don't even say anything. So it's just like, what's not clicking up there, Kyle? What's going on? Kyle and Kathy get into it on why Kathy needs to apologize to Lisa. Lisa, she's trying to jump in it. She was like, no, you need to apologize to me for everything that you put me through that night. Next thing you know, Kathy, she says her iconic line. You know, the one that she said in the trailer. She was like, you know what, baby? Hold on, Lisa. Hold on. Because Kim, my sister, she told me what to tell you. Hold on. I have it saved here on my notes. Hold on. You wanted some drama and you wanted it caught on camera. Okay, let me remember that. You wanted it caught on camera. Okay. Kim, this one is for you. You wanted some drama and you wanted it caught on camera because you knew your contract was coming up. I'm like, wow, we finally heard it. Lisa, she doesn't know what to say. She's probably just sitting there thinking, wait a minute, she's on to me. That was part of my plan. Erica, she was like, wow, really? Contracts? Wow, really? Dorit doesn't even know they're filming a reunion. She's just sitting there like, la, 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 what should I wear tomorrow? Garcelle and Sutton, they're sitting on the couch and they're looking at this like, well, I mean, we tried to tell you to get onto the winning team, but you didn't listen, so here you are. So then Kathy was like, wait, I'm not done with you, Lisa. Come back over here. Let me drag you a little bit more. So she was like, Lisa, all you do is just want drama. You just want drama on this show. And you want it all to be captured on camera. That's why you drove Lisa Vanderpump off this show. And I'm like, ooh, that's one stab. So then she continued. She was like, you look what you did to my sister, Kim. Look what you did to her. And then they played the flashback of her smashing that glass. And then she was like, you're the biggest bully anybody could ever know. You're the biggest bully in Hollywood. And I'm like, wait a minute. In Hollywood, that's a stretch for Lisa Rinna. I would say that she's the biggest bully around the corner. Or like down the street or something. But Hollywood, I don't know. You're giving her too much credit. She also goes on to say, you also had a lot of drama with Camille Grammer. Like, she named every housewife, basically, that used to be on the show. I just know that Lisa Vanderpump probably had a watch party at her house. And her, Brandy, Camille, and even Kim, they're probably in the living room eating popcorn and food. They're probably looking at this like, get that bitch. Get that bitch. Lisa is left speechless. She has nothing to say to Kathy. So she was like, wow, really, Kathy? Wow, so this is what we're doing. Wow. She has nothing to say. At the same time, I'm thinking, Lisa, didn't you also walk onto this reunion stage with a yellow envelope and you put it right behind the couch and you said that those were going to be your receipts? What happened to that? She never once used it. That could have probably maybe saved you from Kathy, just taking you out just now. But no, you just took it and she was like, oh, you know what? No, this isn't about me. This isn't about me. This is about you two sisters. And I'm like, oh, now it's not about you. Now it's about them trying to figure this out between each other. But yet the whole entire, the last couple of episodes of this season, it was between you, Kyle, and Kathy. Now all of a sudden it's just between them. Okay, so then Garcelle was just like, wait, so then if you're saying this and it's just about, Kathy and Kyle, then why are you in this? Lisa was probably gripping on that couch like, Garcelle, mind your business, please. So then Lisa, her bullshit excuse, she was like, well, you know what, Garcelle, it's because I was abused. I was abused by Kathy Hilton. And I'm like, abused? And then Kathy is looking at her like, abused how? Again, Lisa just a complete, Lisa, at this point, just go backstage and change into a clown outfit. Like, you made yourself look like a complete fool. So she's like, yeah, I was just really abused by her verbally. Like, everything that she said to me at the house, I'm just really traumatized by her behavior. And I'm like, okay. And then she continued on and she was like, this is much worse than the whole situation with Kim. This is much, much, much worse. And I'm like, no, it's really not. But okay. So then that was that. Eventually, Kyle, she's like on her 10th box of tissues. And she was like, I just feel like this whole situation right now with Kathy, with Kathy, I feel like, me and her, we need to end up in a better place than where we started when Kathy came onto the stage. We need to end up in a better place. Like, you're my sister, Kathy, and Kathy, she's just sitting there unbothered, like, I don't really know about that. And I feel like whatever that both of them were arguing about, I feel like it goes much, much, much more deeper than what just Lisa just brought up this season. I just feel like, there's something more that we're not seeing here because Kathy is obviously holding a grudge towards Kyle over something. I'm not sure if it's because she didn't speak up for her in the moment when Lisa confronted her. Maybe that's it, but obviously there's much more than what we're seeing. Then Andy, he was like, so Kathy, Farrah, her daughter, she's getting married. Are you going to be at the wedding? Kathy was like, I'm sure my family will be there. So damn petty. And I'm like, wow. Again, it's just so sad. And it really is sad to see two sisters like basically fall apart. But Kyle, you brought this all upon yourself. Like, you did this to yourself. You had so many chances to stop this from happening. Yet you continue this train wreck. You continue to beat up Lisa's ass. And you let her talk about your sister whatever way and in any way to her face. Yet you never said anything. And now you're crying. Kathy was like, well, honestly, Kyle, you just feel like you make everything about yourself. You think that this whole issue is just about yourself and it's just you. She called her like a martyr or whatever. I don't know what that is. But she was like, this is all about you. And it's just like, you need to take, some accountability basically. And I feel like Kathy, she was picking and choosing her words because obviously she's seeing that her sister is falling apart. She doesn't want to continue hurting her feelings. So she was trying to be nice about it. So then she tries to jump in and she was like, wait a minute, the reunion is almost over. I have no camera time. So she jumps in it and she was like, Kaya, hey, my baby. So the thing is, Kathy, I just feel like she wants you to take some responsibility in this whole situation between you and Kathy Hilton. Like, that's it, my baby. Why did she even say that? Because Kyle basically told her to shut the fuck up. Kyle, she was like, no, Kathy, what did you say, Dorit? Dorit, I don't want to hear you right now. I really don't want to hear you. This is between me and my sister. You stop interjecting. You mind your business. And I'm like, wow, well, damn, Kyle, she can't interject yet. You've been interjecting this entire reunion, this entire season in conversation and issues that have nothing to do with you. But now because Dorit wants to jump in, you tell her to back up and, stop interjecting. Interesting. And Dorit was much better than I was, because if I was her, I would have lunged at Kyle. Eventually, Andy was like, okay, Kyle, okay, Kathy, we already paid you, $1 million for today. Your time is up. You can go. So then Kathy, she gets her purse and she was like, well, it was nice seeing everybody. And she just walked away. She was like, okay, I'm going to go build a new hotel, okay? But Kyle, again, she's continuing crying. She was like, no, we need to fix things. We need to fix things. And Kathy's like, no, we really don't. I need to go take a nap. And again, I really do want to feel sympathy for Kyle, because it is sad to see her fall apart like that in front of Kathy. But it's just like, I keep remembering that you did this to yourself and you brought this whole mess upon yourself. You had options and you chose your choice, which was Lisa Rinna. Kathy leaves the stage as Kyle continues to fall apart. Garcelle, she still took it in her to still be a true friend to you, Kyle. Even after you laughed at the whole situation between Erica and Jax, she was still there for you again in this moment as you were crying. She was like, Kyle, relax. Everything is going to be okay. Relax. Kyle is telling Garcelle, I can't be here. I can't do this right now. I don't want to do the toast. I want to get up and leave. Meanwhile, her true friends, or her clique, as she says, is over there. Lisa, Rinna, and Erica. All they're caring about is themselves and their image. They're like, oh man, we're going to get blamed for this. Like, oh, what do we do now? What do we do now? Instead of checking up on your friend, Kyle. But of course, Garcelle is the one doing it. But Andy tells everybody that they're about to do their final toast, but Kyle, she doesn't want to be there anymore, so she starts whispering in his ear. She was like, Andy, I don't want to be here. I can't do this right now. I don't want to take a toast. I don't want to do this. I want to get up and leave. Can I leave? So then Andy, he doesn't know what to do. He's looking at the producer like, Kyle wants to leave. Should we lower her pay since she's not technically going to be here for the entire reunion? Should we take away like $10? What should we do? So he tries to wrap up the reunion as fast as he can while she's falling apart. So he was like, okay, we're about to make a toast. Everybody go around and say your final sayings. Lisa, she goes on to say something about grief. Erica, she goes on to say that she's happy that she's not in jail for another season. Hopefully she can make it another season without being in prison. Dorit, she goes on to say that she's going to go shopping after this. And Crystal, she goes on to say that she's going to lose like 15 more friends next season. Who else? Sutton, she goes on to say that, yeah, she's just there. And Garcelle, she says her goodbye. So they all get up. They get their little drinks. I believe Andy, he tried to play a joke on Dorit, because she likes to order these drinks with all carcasses or something. So he was like, okay, everybody, let's take a toast. He's giving them all drinks. He gives one to Kyle. Kyle was just like, no, I really don't feel like drinking right now. If I was Garcelle or Sutton, I would have been like, Andy, can you give me that one? I want two. It's okay, Kyle. I drink it for you. Go. But they take their toast. Kyle, she's just sitting there like she's on punishment. She's like, so they take their toast and that was it. And again, they're all standing up and Lisa, Rinna, or Erica, they still have not checked up on Kyle, who's standing right across from them crying. So then Kyle, she walks away and Kyle had a nasty supermodel walk. Did y'all see her? She was like, I'm like, okay, Kyle, okay, you were just using this as an excuse to show off your dress, but okay. So she goes backstage in her room. Again, she continues crying. Meanwhile, Kathy Hilton, she's over there living her best life in a golf cart. She's just driving all over the studio. So then Dorit, she gets up and she's going backstage to find Kyle. And I'm like, okay, so she's going to get her revenge. She's going to get her payback. She's going to let her have it. But no, she goes into the room. And honestly, if I was Kyle and if I was crying in my room by myself and I see Dorit walking in, I would have cried even more. Like, I can't believe Kathy. Who's at the door? Is that Dorit? Oh my God, not again. Like, here comes another long-winded conversation that I didn't ask for. Dorit, she goes in there, and even after being yelled at by Kyle 2 seconds ago, she still decides to be there for her. And she was like, Kyle, the thing is with Kathy Hilton, I feel like, you two will be in a better place. Maybe not by tomorrow, but I feel like eventually you two will be best friends again. It's okay. Both of you are sisters. So eventually, everything kind of just kind of ended like that. I was expecting like a to be continued. Imagine if they would have ended it with a to be continued and we had to see the aftermath on to next season. Lisa, aka Larsa Pippen, she's just walking around like, I did the best that I could. No, you didn't. So she's walking around, she doesn't know what to do. Erica, she's walking around looking for $1. Garcelle and Sutton, they're walking away because they did their part. They're like, yeah, we're unbothered. We're fine. We're going to come back next season with our diamond. So we're good. And then at the very end, we see a little picture of Kyle and Kathy of this past weekend. And it said that they have not talked since, I'm assuming that they filmed this like a month ago. No, like 2 months ago. They have not talked since they've seen each other at BravoCon this past weekend. So how much time did they let go since the reunion? I'm assuming like two months, 2.5 months. That's pretty sad, but who knows where their relationship goes from here. Hopefully this is a big eye-opener to Kyle. And she looks back at this and realizes, you know what? Maybe I should defend my sisters a little bit more and not feed them to the wolves every other season. I mean, you did it with Kim. You would think that you would learn something from that. And then you did it with Kathy. So it's just like, what's happening here, Kyle? Again, hopefully you do realize that so that way you don't have to end up in a sticky situation like this and cry for 20 hours in one episode. And that was that. But again, where do we go from here as a cast? Kathy, she just did an interview recently and she said that if Erica or Lisa Rinna come back next season, that she's not going to be a part of the show. So I'm not sure what they're going to do about this. I mean, I don't even know how this cast is even going to, maneuver as a cast moving forward because they're left with so much tension and so many like loose ends. Who knows what's going to happen? Do y'all think that Lisa Rinna is really going to get fired? I was thinking of making a separate video, because usually right now is where I put who should get fired and who should come back and so and so and so. But I was thinking of making a separate video of listing out people who should join the cast for next season. I have a couple of options, so I was thinking of making a whole separate video. What do y'all think? But yeah, I mean, I guess that's the end of the reunion and the end of the season. I mean, what did y'all think about this whole reunion, this whole entire season? Thank you to everybody who has watched this entire toxic roller coaster along with me, because it has been a very, very, very interesting journey. But we shall see how this ends up for season 13. I mean, as of now, I don't know where everybody stands with each other, but we shall see how this plays out. But again, thank you to every single one of you who has watched my reviews this entire season. I really, really, really appreciate everybody's support. And that was it. Let me know what you all thought about this part of the reunion down in the comments. Bye, my babies. Bye. Mwah.